Maximilian Robespierre spit upon you and all the aristocrats. This feast alone can feed a score of peasants. I worked and fought to ensure the people's rights would never be taken away. But at a time when people starve, all you can do is focus on your makeup and wigs.
I see you have a fine one.
It is a small matter. However, as the greatest protector of the people of France, I think I did more for the people in one day than you did in your entire lifetime. I was the leader of the Jacobin Club, slowly rose in prominence during the Revolution, and fought for democratic reforms against aristocrats such as you. Need I say more?
No, I suggest you stop there. You make an even bigger fool of yourself than you already are.
Excusez-moi! How dare you have the audacity to insult the incorruptible?
Because I am Napoleon Bonaparte. I can do whatever I can.
Taller than I remember, citizen. And yes, you did do as you please, including starting a dictatorship.
Dictatorship? I think you are referring to yourself, you narcissist.
And yet, you were as absolutist as the kings. Your invasion of Russia caused the deaths of tens of thousands of good Frenchmen. You attacked your ally, the Spanish, and caused a brutal and unnecessary war. And you violated the freedom of the press established in the Declaration of the Rights of Man. That document which I signed on the glorious day of the 26th of August. Your reign caused nothing but death and suffering for us.
And you must answer for the lives for over more than 16,000.
They were enemies of the Republic.
Enemies of the Republic or enemies of you? You didn't even give them all fair trials, you overstuffed croissant.
In times of crisis, the rights men usually should have can't always be honored. But I've had enough from you, Citizen Napoleon. Draw your sword, and let's resolve this like gentlemen.
Gentlemen, please.
And I'll deal with that stupid tart later myself.
Stop! You have insulted me in my own palace! How dare you! Now my record say, eat cake!
I'll be doing that!
May I propose a toast to France?
Are you tired of work and the drudgery of daily life? Don't you just want to take a break? Don't you just want to escape and take a vacation? Well, I have a solution to your problem. Take an amazing, relaxing cruise to the world's most beautiful country, Spain. I'm Queen Isabella, Spain's greatest Catholic queen. I was the one who helped discover America, unify Spain, strengthen the church, and help Spain become what it is now.
Hi, my name is Cortez.
Cortez?
Magellan?
Why are you here, Cortez?
I should be asking the same question. I'm the one who's supposed to be here.
No, I'm the one who's supposed to be here.
Please stop fighting. Let's just all be happy and continue with the infomercial.
Why shouldn't we be happy if he's here?
What, Isabella? Are you saying Magellan's the best Spanish explorer? Give me a break.
Of course, the best Spanish explorer of all time. I circumnavigated the whole world. He never even left to watch the hemisphere.
Well, at least I accomplished something, unlike you. I assisted in the subjugation of Cuba and conquered Mexico. With the conquest of Mexico, I was able to save millions of people and bring many people to a true fate. All you did was sail around the world and did not even survive to see the end of it.
Spain! What do you mean? The country famed for Moorish, Romanesque, and Gothic architecture, as well as old cultural events like bullfighting and...
What makes you think you know so much anyway? Where'd you go to school?
For your information, I went to a very prestigious college, the University of Salamanca.
Yeah, what is that? Like a Jesuit university or something?
It was actually founded by the Dominicans.
Dominicans, Jesuits, I mean, like, what's the difference?
How about we talk about Spain? There is a very big difference between the Dominicans and the Jesuits. The Dominicans were founded to combat the Albigensian heresy. The Jesuits were founded to combat the Protestant heresy.
So what's the difference?
No one's the captain. You're all fired. Get out of here. Pack your swords. You're fired.
I can't be fired. I was one of the greatest meetings of all time. Their commercial was going great, so they came along. You can't fire me.
You're back. You're fired. F-I-R-E-D. Fired. What is this, vocabulary class? Get out of here.
Hello, welcome to Dr. Philip. Please welcome Henry Tudor and his two daughters, Mary and Elizabeth. So, what's been up with the Tudor family?
Well, I don't know about the other two, but I've been simply fabulous.
No one cares, Elizabeth.
You know what? I'd rather have nobody care than be like you, Mary. Nobody even likes you.
Shut up, both of you.
I'm definitely sense there are some unspoken grudges in this family.
My sister is praised and loved by all of England. Well, my name is smeared in blood, all because I decided to execute my enemies. You know, all of whom happen to be Protestant.
I wanted a son, but Mary's mother wasn't doing the job. So I was having meetings with Mary Boleyn, who was, my ex-wife's lady in waiting. That's how I met Anne Boleyn, who's Elizabeth's mother. So, I started having meetings with her. She said she promised to give me a son.
I always love hearing the story of how Mommy and Daddy overcame all odds and fell in love.
Spare me.
Mary, I am sensing there is some bitterness here.
Well, let's see. I had to get the throne myself when it should have been passed on to me. I had to fight off most of my family for it. And I was declared one of the most diabolical and bloodthirsty female figures in all of history. Let's just say I feel pretty darn frustrated.
All right, I'll finish, boss child.
No introduction music for him.
No one wants you here, Martin.
Now, Thomas, let's not be rude, but seriously, Luther, what are you doing here?
For the last time, Martin, your way is not the true way.
I know that by faith alone I am right, and that by faith alone I will be saved.
Can you believe this man? He thinks that by faith alone one can be saved. I suppose you think that the king is the supreme head of the church, and that the pope isn't.
The Pope isn't the supreme head of the church. In fact, I think Henry here would be a better choice.
Hey, I like this fella.
Wait, so let me get this straight. You were best friends with Henry, but Henry wanted you to go against the doctrines of your faith just so he could get with this Boleyn woman. And Elizabeth. Listen, your mother was Anne Boleyn, who I'm guessing seduced Henry.
Excuse me, that's my mother you're talking about here.
Oh, shut up. We both know she seduced Dad.
My, what a soap opera we have in our hands.
How long is this going to take?
Be patient, I'm creating a masterpiece here. Leonardo da Vinci is doing something revolutionary in the world of painting. This will be my most famous painting. Oh, that enigmatic smile will be known to the whole world. The whole world will know your face.
You mean my face?
I told you it was amazing. Oh, will you stop it?
I can't help it. I must inspire. I'm a free spirit, made for the stage. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
What a drama queen.
This tradition has been killed. You must figure out which one of you killed him. The name of the game is Clue.
I know. It was Einstein in the laboratory of the atomic bomb.
I've always respected tradition. I never did anything to destroy it. I'm a pacifist. I never wanted to create the atomic bomb. And that didn't change anything about tradition anyway. This is stressing me out. It was the Industrial Revolution robot in the air with pollution.
That is ridiculous. At least we did not try to steal animals from their natural habitats. Darwin.
Nothing I found in life. I started my entire career because I wanted to prove blacks have the same origin as whites. And sure, that wasn't the traditional view then, but wasn't it a good thing that blacks got their freedom? It was probably Marx. He's always tearing down the upper class.
So is every poor man in history.
So, you did do it. You're the poor one who...
Nope. Actually, I was never poor. I was pretty much well off my whole life. So there go your motives. But I'm not a murderer. Honest to God.
Do you believe in God?
No. But I find religion convenient. It's the opium of the people. I use it to inflame them with righteous indignation.
Please rise. The Honorable Judge Trudy, court is now in session.
Be seated, this court is in session. The date, September 3rd, 1692, here in Salem, Massachusetts. We begin the trial of Isaac Jones, known papist, for witchcraft. Guilty! Hang him! You are trying my patience. Very well, then we may proceed.
The first witness I called to the stand, myself. Last week, I was out of town on business when it began to rain. That morning, having been sunny, I didn't have anything with me to keep off the rain, so when I got home, my clothes were soaking wet. But I didn't mind it, so I stood looking out the window for a while. And then, I saw this priest walking by holding his accursed rosary in his hand and muttering under his breath. And the instant I saw him, I began snaking under the drawing. The rest of my case.
When my fellow judges and I landed in North America and we tried to convert the Huron language, or the Huron people, we not only had to learn the Huron language, but we also had to learn their argumentation style, which is very complicated, compared to the European method, which is much more straightforward. Once we mastered these skills, we were able to convert many of the Huron, and sometimes entire villages.
He poisons his words with the power of demons! Demons, I say!
On what ground?
On no grounds! This is Salem! Of the hundreds of trials I've won, and the 17 wishes I've executed so far, I think I would know what a real witch looks like. Now confess and reconcile yourselves to society or be hanged!
That's the way it's done.
Stop.
How dare you insult the Church of Christ, you apostate of Luther?
I am gladly apostatized from your church, papist.
Use the term papist as an insult. What do you have against the Pope?
The Pope is the Antichrist, the whore of Babylon, which will be crushed by Christ at the end times, which, as we all know, are not far in the future.
You sure report a robbery? You can call it that.
Alright, tell me more.
Something stole my gold. All my fortune gone in a blink of an eye.
Can you give me a description?
He was huge. Bigger than anyone this side of Mississippi. Wider around than my mother.
Your mother?
Oh, and did I mention Harry? Oh, this creature was one hairy son of a dragon.
This is no man we're after. This is a Sasquatch. A Yeti, Bigfoot, the missing link. Catch my drift? I've been on this trail for years, decades.
I looked for my friend, King Osagi. Many people call him Lone Ranger.
So you're here to report a missing person. Can you tell me where you've seen him last?
Yes, we were riding on the range.
I know that place where the deer and the antelope play.
Yes! Small world. We were riding on the range. He fell off horse, hit his head hard. Get back on horse, ride off into sunset, yelling something about Sacagawea, sarsaparilla,
Sasquatch!
Yes, Sasquatch, that's what it was.
You've come to the right place. I'm a Sasquatch expert.
Wow.
Where we need to go is Yosemite National Park. That's the hot spot for all Sasquatch.
It's time to go hiking. But first, we must stretch. Boy Scout salute. Forward march.
But we are part of a greater image created by Hollywood that changed the way the world sees Cowboy and Indian. Cowboy and Indian not really like movies. In fact, Cowboy and Indian hardly ever interact in real life.
It's very interesting. Mr. Goldminer, tell me about how you got so much gold.
Well, I was one of the few, actually. We tried everything. First, we tried panning for gold.
You know who likes pancakes? Bigfoot.
We tried digging.
You know who likes digging? Bigfoot.
And, anyway, my friend Dynamo came up with explosives.
You know who likes explosives? Mythbusters.
Is this the end of Andrew Jackson? I guess it is. I can't do it. Of all stars in heaven, my life ends tonight.
Stop! What do you think you're doing, boy?
I am a very hard child. When I was a kid, both my brothers died in war right in front of me. Then I got the same disease they got. My mother came to try to help me. Then she got sick and died, and I was healed. And I was an orphan at the age of 14. Then after that, my wife died right before my election. Life has just been a bundle of misery.
Nah. It can't be all that bad. Calm down.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Methinks to not be is what it should be.
You sound like a pansy poet to me.
You are very rude, sir. You shouldn't mess with Theodore Roosevelt. I may speak, but I carry a big stick.
Well, Andrew Jackson has old hickory with him right here.
What?
You fool! My lips bleeding! My lips bleeding!
Teddy, why are you trying to kill yourself? Come on, what are your problems?
I'm sorry, but I've just had a really hard life. I suffered from horrible asthma my whole life. My father died when I was really young. My grandfather also died when I was really young. Only 2 years after I was married, my beloved wife died, and the same day my mother died. So I've had a really hard life. It just would have been better if I'd never been born at all.
No, don't say that, please.
Oh,
I wish I'd never been born.
You mustn't say things like that. Wait a minute. Okay, you've got your wish. You've never been born.
Hey, you know, it's been healed.
I'm going to take you back through history on a train ride, on the safest train in history. All aboard on the Underground Railroad Express. And we're on our way now to South Carolina.
For the Union! Long live Jefferson Davis! Hey, I'm back, you northerners!
South Carolina, 1832.
1832, you say? But how come the Civil War's broken out already? The Civil War didn't break out till 1861.
God knows when the Civil War was.
We're going to Russia and Japan.
What's going on here? That was a Japanese from Russia. Did you see that? Those countries shouldn't be fighting.
Fighting like maniacs.
Yeah, I negotiated an end to the Russo-Japanese war. What's going on?
Harry, get us back! Get us back, Harry! I want my life back!
We don't care what happens to us. Please, Harry. Please get me back to my wife and my kids. Please, Harry.
Give me my life back, Harry!
Go to bed.
I'm not tired.
I don't care. It's time for bed.
I don't want to go to bed. This house is so full of people, it makes me sick. When I grow up and get married, I'm living alone. Did you hear me? I'm living alone. I'm living alone. I'm living alone. I don't want to see you for the rest of my life.
I hope you don't mean that. You'd feel pretty sad if you woke up tomorrow and didn't have a family. Oh my gosh, we slept in! Our plane finally better! Hurry, hurry,
Mom? Dad? Where are you guys? This is a day of infamy.
Hello, this is Captain Eisenhower and Sergeant Seal here.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Wilson. I'm calling from Paris. My son's home alone and the phones are out of order. I would like someone to go by our house and check on him and tell him that we're coming home to get him.
Hey, Lily, let me get this straight. You want us to go all the way to your house just to check to make sure the kid's okay?
Yes, I knew I forgot something. It's just like in the beginning of World War I. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand continued his tour even after he knew someone was trying to kill him.
Don't people ever call for real emergencies anymore? I mean, I was in the Navy SEALs, but we got called in all sorts of emergencies. Sometimes even by the president himself.
Okay, so just like when I was commanding the invasion of D-Day, we're gonna sneak up on this kid and just make sure he's all right.
Wait, B-Day? You invaded the kid's birthday?
D-Day. It was the largest amphibious assault in world history.
This is ridiculous. Only a wimp would be hiding. And I can't be a wimp. I'm the man of the house. I can't believe this. It's just like my report about Pearl Harbor. U.S. military intelligence was horrible. We should have known, the U.S. should have known that Japan was going to attack. The Japanese have been planning this attack for many years. And we didn't prepare for it at all. Hello?
Kevin, oh my gosh, Kevin, are you okay?
Mom? Can't believe you left me. This is just like my report. You should have been more aware. But instead, you were like FDR and were completely oblivious.
I know, I messed up. But unlike Wilson, who compromised his I will stop at nothing and compromise nothing to make sure you're okay.
Here's the agent plan with the CIA. Agent Jack Flower, CTU.
Agent Flower, welcome to CIA headquarters. Have you been briefed yet?
No, I was actually assigned to this mission pretty last minute. Anyway, tell me about yourself. I'd like to know who I'm working with.
Well, I come from a long line of CIA agents. At the beginning of World War II, my grandfather was part of the OSS and eventually part of the very first Central Intelligence Agency instituted in 1946 by President Taft.
1946. Taft was dead. I mean, Harry Truman.
Yeah, I know. I was just making sure you knew your facts. Well, why are you on this base anyway?
Well, I've been serving the country for 12 years. I joined right after 9/11, and I knew that it was necessary to serve the country and enlist, but I never really knew why. I was oblivious to the threats that were in Iraq and Afghanistan. In Iraq, the people were being terrorized under the dictatorship of Saddam Hussein. He killed hundreds of thousands of people and even released toxic gas on them in the Halabja attacks. After being there for a year, I was shipped off to Afghanistan, which is where I spent most of my time. That's where we were trying to find Osama bin Laden and fighting Al-Qaeda. However, after being there, I realized that how serious their threat was. They hated everything America stood for. They hated liberty, they hated freedom. They hated natural rights, they hated human dignity.
But anyway, after that, I decided to dedicate myself to fighting the just war on terrorism. What's this case about?
Well, we recently got a letter telling us that a bomb will go off somewhere in D.C. today, May 7th. We don't know where the bomb will be or who sent the letter, but we've narrowed it down to 2 suspects.
Come on. David just Trudy already. Let's go. Come on.
The guy on the left, Confederate.
Really? Okay, yeah, write that down, because that's not obvious. Okay, that other one right there in the fedora, Johnny Linguini, head of one of the 5 mob families in Chicago. Really big on human and drug trafficking. We think he's here because he's probably really hates the government for repealing prohibition and putting an end to his empire. All right, the other one, that is Jethro, Casper, Cletus, Fudge, Jefferson Davis, General Lee Brown. We've been watching him ever since the 4th of July parade in the summer in Washington, D.C., where he jumped on a float, burned the flag, burned the float, and started screaming, "The South shall rise again!" Anyway, he's a real angry northerner, and he probably hates the government for essentially winning the Civil War.
What? Do you know why you're here, Mr. Linguini?
Yeah, I was accused of something I didn't do. Liar! I was born in Sicily, but I moved to Chicago when I was about 7. I dropped out of school and I joined a street gang, and by the time I was 12, the prohibition was in full swing. I became a bootlegger a little late in life at 14, and by the time I was 16, I had risen in the ranks of the Italian Mob Club. The Italian Club.
I can't tell you a damn good thing about my recent whereabouts. But I will say this. You Yankees probably think that I'm guilty because I hate the current federal government. But I don't. I hate Mr. Lincoln. That's who I hate. During the Civil War, he suspended habeas corpus. He waged an entire war against the South and sought no peace whatsoever. And you know how the states ratified the amendments? Yeah, well, that didn't quite work out with him. Because, you know, the 14th Amendment, not even all the states ratified it. Oh, and one more thing. Secession is perfectly fine. You guys are all nuts about it. I mean, every damn little founder would have agreed that secession was fine. The North was going to secede before the South did, but this Kentucky Yankee just strolls in the White House. Oh, secession ain't legal. Secession's fine! That's why I hate Mr. Lincoln.
Well, we know it's one of you.
Okay, honestly, Valerie, you know it's one of them like you knew where Osama was right after 9/11. See me? Look. This is a bomb threat. I don't do bombs. I show up on your doorstep with a baseball bat and I smash your face in. Or I line you up against the wall and I shoot you with a Tommy gun. Or I cement your shoes and I dump you in the river.
Well, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome, you lovers of America and supporters of this great cause.
All rise. All sit.
God bless the Tea Party. You know, guys, we live in a really great place. You know, it's so sad when you think about how uneducated so much of our youth is today, and they just seem to know so little about our founding fathers and the roots of this country. And sometimes you're walking down the street and you're thinking about these things, and you're pondering them. And if you're me, if it brings a tear to your eyes to think of all these people who hardly know anything about. I mean, and then I want to ask them, do you know who James Madison even is?
Can you tell me who wrote the Constitution?
Well, in my opinion, we're all like always writing our own constitutions, you know?
Not smoking. Hi, can you tell me who the father of the Constitution is?
Lincoln, man. Lincoln was the man. He had it all, like Obama.
Can you tell me who wrote the Declaration of Independence?
No!
I really can't. That one guy, what's his name? It's like Michael, what was his last name? Like, it starts with J. No, not Jackson, like, oh, Jordan, Michael Jordan. Yes, that, yeah.
Can you tell me who our current vice president is?
No, it's definitely Osama bin Laden.
Who was the first president of the United States of America? No entiendo qué está diciendo. O sea, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué? O sea, no entiendo. Y aparte se va. ¿Qué? Bueno, va. Solo porque no te entendemos. Can you tell me, gentlemen, who the father of the Constitution is?
Probably not. I know this. I learned this. Elvis Presley? No. No, it's too much.
Elton
What
John.
do I do?
Thomas Jefferson. Just gonna take him to his class. What she said.
We can talk about these problems, but what are we going to do about them?
I'm proud of you and your insights, young man. I hardly expected so much from a man with such a strange sweater. The truth lies in the very phrase that begins all this. We the people. That's all we are. People. The founders knew that, and we can't lose sight of it. They saw man's ability to harm just as much as they saw his potential for virtue.